Well, I have new headphones. I'm not stealing my kids. And we'll see how well they hold up to the wind. Because as soon as I whip out the mat and the camera, the wind just starts picking up. I can see it already. Maybe you'll hear it. So we're just gonna start by sitting on our mat today. Reaching the crown of the head nice and tall. Maybe we roll our shoulders out. And one more big roll. And then just release that leftover tension in the shoulders. Seeing if we can sit a little taller. Take shoot the shoulders up, back, and down. We're going to inhale the arms overhead. Pressing the palms together, we'll exhale our hands towards our heart. We're going to do that again. Sweeping them out, up. And then exhaling them back down to our heart. And inhale nice and high. Exhaling our hands towards our heart. Alright, so we'll just drop one hand and reach that opposite hand up. And then release the shoulder. So as the top hand lifts, we're trying to not bend over. We're trying to actually see how high we can lift that hand up and drop the shoulder on the other side. And we'll switch. Hand up, other hand down. Lift, lift, lift. Keep a bit of a space between the shoulder and the ear. And then drop that arms and shoulders. Lift higher. See that wind, you can tell by that yoga trapeze behind. Thanks, yoga guy. And switch. And switch. Now hold this next one a little longer. We're going to lift on up. Now same deal. So we're lifting through the top hand. And we drop that bottom shoulder. And see if we can lift a little higher. Keep pressing through the same side hip. And the opposite hand can sweep itself out. Supporting ourselves. We lift as high as we can. And then we can start to lean over as long as we're not collapsing. So the spine's going to stay long. And we're just hinging at the hip. And we're feeling a nice pull on that hip. Okay, come on up. We switch sides, lift. So again, we're not shrugging. We keep that space. Drop the other hand. Keeping our space as we lift higher. And maybe extend the hand out. And then from there, once we can't go any higher, we can start to lean over. Keeping the spine long, not collapsing. Lifting high. Oh, Zoe. No one wants to hear it. Coming back up. Inhale the hands high. Exhaling the hands towards the heart again. And we're just going to start to lean forward. So maybe it's a little bit. Maybe it's a lot. So it's probably not going to be too far because it's the beginning of the practice. Our muscles and our joints and our ligaments are all tight and cool still. But maybe we've done some cardio before this, so we're feeling a little more open. But we're going to take note, since our feet are crossed and one foot is in front of the other, of which one that is, because we'll need to switch. Slowly come on up, shoulders up, back and down. And we're going to twist. So bring the right hand behind the body, and then the left hand comes to that right knee, sitting taller, and we're not leaning back, so we're seeing if we can keep the shoulders right over the hips as we twist. Switching sides, coming back to center, coming to the other side. Now again, seeing if we can try to sit tall, and we use that hand to pull on the leg and feel that back shoulder pull back. So we're deepening the twist. We're not leaning into this back hand. It's just there for a little extra pull. And then back to center. Inhale nice and high. Exhaling our hands towards our heart. And again, check which foot was in front. And then we're going to release and extend the feet out. Our hands, our fingertips are facing our heels. The hands come a little behind the body. And then we squeeze the glutes as we lift up. We're going to feel the shoulders stretch a little. So our feet can stay flexed, or we can start to point them. But we squeeze the glutes and lift. Maybe we're really low still. That's okay. If we feel any pain or discomfort, we back off. Slowly lower back down, and then cross that opposite foot front. So finding that length again. So foot in front so we can switch. We're going to do all that again. Inhale nice and high. Exhale, drop one hand. Release the shoulder if it's struggling up. Sliding the hand up. See if we can lift higher. Keeping that hip down because it's going to try to lift up. We want to press it down. And lean, lean, lean. Coming back up. Switch sides. Hand down, lifting. Maybe a little higher. Drop that shoulder a little more. Extend out. Leaning over. Then go right back up. Inhale the hands high. Exhale the hands towards our heart, and then we're leaning forward again. So this time the other foot's in front. The reason again is important is because now you feel that other hip is a little tighter. Trying not to let the back round to get here. So if we're sitting high, in fact, if we're still tight and our hips want to be elevated on the block or something, that's an option too, but see if we can keep that length in the spine as we come up, as we come down. Sorry, not up. But as we come up as well. So we're finding that twist. Inhale high. Bring the left hand behind the body. The right hand is on that left knee. And here's where we pull that shoulder open, twisting towards the thigh, and trying not to lean back. Aha! Try to lean back. I'm sorry, not lean back. Lift tall. Peel back open. Coming to center. Peeling to the other side. Maybe our twist is a little deeper. Maybe it feels a little better. But again, if we feel the back shoulder is kind of pulling forward, pull it back. Sit a little taller. And if our twist looks much smaller, that's okay as well. Slowly come back to center. And when we're ready, we're going to swing our legs around and find ourselves on our hands and knees for our cat-cow pose. So starting to heat our body up even more. We're checking that our hips are right over the knees, shoulders are right over the wrists. Our fingers are spread wide. The middle finger is pointing towards the front of the mat. And we're trying to keep that shoulder distance hand. Now, as the belly drops, that's when we're inhaling. Tailbone lifts, chin lifts. When we're ready to exhale, tuck the tailbone. Lead with that tailbone all the way until we tuck the chin. Lift the tailbone, roll, inhaling. Exhale. Feel the shoulder blades pull apart in that cat. And then we feel them squeeze together in our cow. Our cat-cows go at our own pace here. So if it takes me or you a little longer to inhale our lungs completely full, then we do that. If it takes us longer to exhale all the air out, then we do that. So staying here, we're going to add on a little spinal balance. So as the belly drops, inhale one hand up and the opposite foot. Exhale, release. Round all that air out. Inhale, reaching opposite hand, opposite foot. So we're alternating. Exhale, round, squeeze all that air out. Inhaling, extend. Exhale, round. Inhaling, extend. Exhale, rounding. Okay, one more round on each side. So we're going to keep our hands at that shoulder distance, fingers spread wide, tuck the toes, find our plank. So if our hips are really high or really low, see if we can find that nice straight line. Pull those glutes in, the abdominals, and squeeze those glutes. And then lift the tailbone towards the sky for our downward facing dog. So we shouldn't really have to adjust for our downward facing dog. We just release the heels, even if that means our heels are pretty high, because we want to easily be able to shift from our plank. See, I went a little too far. To our down dog here. And one day maybe our heels will touch the mat. Maybe that day's today, but maybe we don't. And that's okay. Shifting forward to that plank, really far on the toes, pull those abdominals in, back to our downward facing dog. And one more. Now we're going to come all the way to the belly. Shift forward, chaturanga, all the way down. So we're finding a different spinal balance here. As we reach the hands straight out. So our neck is a nice neutral extension of our spine. So we're not looking up and we're really not tucking that chin either. So we're keeping the neck long. Now our glutes are squeezed. And let's lift the left foot and the right hand. And slowly switch. So really activate those glutes. If we feel pain or discomfort in the low back, release down. So keep alternating or release down. Now pull that belly button in even more and keep from there. So we want to support the low back by activating the whole core. So the glutes are working, the abdominals are working. We're working those back muscles. Even feel maybe a little heat in the chest as we move those arms and the shoulders. Okay. Slowly release. Hands are under the chest. Tuck the toes. Hips up. Now pull those elbows in and then press up. Lift the knees. Find the downward facing dog. Adjust hands as needed. And our feet are about hips distance. So if the feet are mat distance, okay, but we're not finding, that nice neutral position of our hips. So it's nice to find that hip distance feet. And then we shift forward into our plank. Chaturanga all the way to the belly. Cobra, release the feet. Squeeze the glutes. Pull that belly button in. And then lift the chest, not by pressing into the hands, but by pulling the hands back like they're trying to get to our hips. Feeling the spine lengthen. Release back down. Hips up. Maybe the knees come in up as well. Elbows tuck in. And then we press up. Oh, Jen, not today. Okay, then the knees can stay down. Press up from there. Find our downward facing dog. Let's inhale the right toes up. And then shift forward. Bring the right knee towards the right elbow. So in our plank, we're really far on those left toes. Inhale the toes up again. Exhale, knee towards that elbow. Inhaling up. Exhale, knee towards our elbow. Step that foot back to that cobra. Come forward. Shoulders past the wrists, chaturanga. Release the feet. Pull the belly button in. Pull the glutes tight. And then lift the chest by pulling the hands back. Release back down. Hips up. Elbows in. Maybe the knees as well. Come on up. Down dog. Switching sides. Inhale those left toes up. Bring the left knee towards that left elbow. Inhale, extend the toes. Exhale, knee towards the elbow. Nice and slow here. So we want to find control with our muscles rather than using momentum. Inhale. Exhale, knee towards the elbow. And step it back, down dog. We're finding our first upward facing dog. Shoulders past the wrist, but we get to have our knees down. Not right under the hips, but behind them. And we shift the shoulders past. The hips and thighs are off the mat the whole time. Chaturanga. And then come back up. Back to our down dog. All right, inhale those right toes up. Bring the right foot all the way to the front of the mat. Walk the foot farther if we need. So if it came halfway, hop it. Maybe use our hand for a little help. Sit low, coming up. And when we're ready, sit a little lower. So we're taking our time. Lift the hands high. If we're shrugging, release the shoulders. Sit a little lower. Find the feet on a railroad track. The right foot's on the right track. Left foot's on the left track. And we sink. Now take that back heel higher. And then the front leg's going to straighten. And it's going to bend. And straighten. And bend. All right, hold right here. Bend that back knee. And straighten it. And bend. And straighten. And bend. and straighten. Let's come on down. So we're going to twist. Drop that back knee down. Left hand is right under the shoulder. We work the hips low and bow and arrow the top hand up. That bottom hand can be on the fingertips. Maybe we want to block. But we're peeling the body open towards that front bent leg. Feeling the twist and letting the hips sink. So if we have any back pain, any back injuries, we're not going to really get crazy on our twist if we even twist at all. We just need to be careful of that low back. Release that twist, back knee lifts, and the right foot comes back to meet our left. So we're in that plank, down dog, and we find our upward facing dog or cobra. So we're going to have that option for our upward facing dog to have the legs off the whole time. So not even dropping the knees. Shoulders over the wrists, and we go farther, past chaturanga. Lift the feet, up dog. Glutes are squeezed, neck is long. Flipping back, down dog. Switch sides, left toes come on up, inhale. And then bring that left foot all the way to the front of the mat. Hips are sinking. Take our time. Adjusting shorts if needed. Sit nice and low. And our hands are coming up. So yeah, do we feel it in that back, the back front hip? Front of the back hip? To the back hip. The front of it? I do. If not, maybe sit a little lower. Take that back heel a little more over the toes. And sink. So we need balance here. So take our time straightening the front leg. And bending it. And straightening it. Exhale, bend. One more. So hold or bend that back knee and straighten it. So feel the glutes working. Maybe it bends a lot and taps, or maybe it just bends a little and straightens. All right, come on down. Here's where we twist. So the back knee comes down. The right hand is on the shoulder, and we bow and arrow that top hand up. So same thing. Maybe that hand is on the fingertips. Maybe it's on a block or some type of prop that helps us elevate to where we want to safely be in this pose. But we lift through the top hand and we press away through the bottom. So we're not just sinking into the bottom, but lifting to the top. We're pressing away and working. Reverse bow and arrow that hand down. Left foot comes back to meet our right. Downward facing dog. Now upward facing dog or cobra. All right, right toes come up. Bringing the right foot to the front of the mat. Hips are low. Inhaling back up. So we're going to do the same thing, but only one, and then we're stepping to the front. So front leg straightens. Exhale, bend. Back leg straightens. And bend. And then step right on up to the front of the mat. Woo! Playing with our balance a little. Feet are hips distance. Inhale nice and high. Exhale, chair. So sit the hips back. Bring the hands shoulder height. Now, if we feel the shoulder blades pulling apart, squeeze them together. Make the neck longer. If the hips are popping out, tuck it under and sit lower. The weight's at the back of the foot. We can lift and move them the whole time. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, sit lower. Nice deep inhale. Sit lower. All right. When we're ready, let's inhale, bring the right leg up with us, and we're going to twist. So take the left hand to the top of that right leg and bow and arrow. Hey Jen, I want my toe down. Is that okay? Yep. I love it. Do it. Reach that back hand back. Maybe even reach the opposite hand. So whatever option we like, but our bottom leg is not locked out. We have a micro bend and we're peeling the shoulders open. All right, bottom hand drops. Let's come on up. And then see if we can step the right foot all the way back. If we want to tiptoe, that's fine, but we want to find our feet far apart. Sit nice and low. When we're ready, straighten that front leg. And bend it. Now bend that back leg. And straighten it. Then step right back forward to the front. Inhale nice and high. Chair pose, so lift the toes, sit the hips back. And then sitting the hips towards the back. Tucking that tailbone a little, retracting the shoulder blades. Maybe we're sitting a little lower. Trying not to let the chest collapse. So we're staying high. If our hands are used to lifting high, we can do that. but it's definitely much more of a long lever load, and it's going to hurt. It has potential to hurt our blowbacks here. So we want to really engage the core. We'll just keep the hands shoulder height. When we're ready, let's inhale, come up with that left foot. So same thing, so finding balance in that standing leg. We cross the right hand over, drop the left, and then bow and arrow. So if the toe is down on the other side, that's okay. If we're just kind of hanging out here, let's find an active form of this pose as we reach the hands in opposite directions. Pull the abdominals in. All right, drop that hand, lift. Slowly see if we can hinge at the hips. Step that foot back. Maybe it's partially, maybe we step all the way back in one go. Or maybe it's 5 goes. It doesn't matter. We listen to our body. Sit low in those hips. Swan dive. Right foot steps back. Downward facing dog. Are the hands shoulder distance? Come forward. Shoulders past wrists. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog or cobra. Down dog. Inhale the left toes up. Left foot comes to the front of the mat. Hips are low. Inhale, come on up. So same thing. Only starting with that left foot. When we're ready, front leg straightens and bends. Back leg bends and straightens. Now see if we can bend it again and press off, finding ourselves balancing that left leg. For our warrior 3, we won't be here long. Hinging. Slowly come up, 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 up. Opening up. So we've done all this already, right? Drop that right hand, lift it up, and then sitting into that chair. Inhale the left leg up. We're going to hinge right away, just like we did warrior 3. Bend that standing leg, step all the way back, high lunge, swan dive. Take those right toes to the sky. Now, come forward, bend the knee, point the toe towards the head. So we look like a scorpion here. Inhale the toes up. We're going to do 2 more. Exhale, shift forward, go slow. Inhaling up. Exhale, go forward. Back up, dropping those toes. Upward facing dog, cobra, or we just stick to that downward facing dog. If we want a little more power, tuck the toes, chaturanga, right back up, down dog. Inhale the left toes up, just like we did before, scorpion pose. So shift forward, bend the knee, point the toe towards the head. Inhale the toes up, exhaling. Inhaling. Last one. Inhale back up. Drop that foot. Let's come forward. Take a nice deep inhale here. Chaturanga, upward facing dog or cobra. Down dog. Right toes come to the sky. Bringing the foot to the front. Hips are low. Come on up. High lunge. Front leg is going to straighten. Maybe we're a little lower this time. Back leg bends. And then we straighten it. Oh, so we bent it again to give us a little press off. Finding that warrior 3. Taking our time, we're hinging, coming back up with that left leg. And we come straight into that twist because we twist our upper body towards that left leg. Reach the hands in opposite directions. Drop the left hand. Lift. When we're ready, slowly come on down. Inhale the hands up. Sit on back chair. Now lift the heels here and see if we can sweep the hands like they're reaching towards the back of the mat. Our palms are facing the floor. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Pull the abdominals tight. And then reach the fingertips farther. See if we can find a little more length in our spine as each vertebrae separates a little more. Drop the heels. Coming up, bring the right leg with us. Hinging at the hips. Warrior 3. Bend that standing leg, step back. Whoop. High lunge. Swan dive here. Left foot comes to the sky. Hands are shoulders distance here. Okay, come forward. Bring the left knee towards your left elbow. Inhale, toes to the sky. Now scorpion, exhale, shift forward. Toe points towards the head. Inhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, exhale, toe to head. Inhale, one more round. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale. Exhale, toe to head. Extend those toes. Drop that foot. Upward facing dog or cobra. Or we stick to that down dog. Switching sides. Right toes come up. Alright, come forward. Right knee towards the elbow. Inhale the toes up. Exhale, shift forward. Bend the knee, point the toe towards the head, scorpion. Inhale. Exhale, knee towards the elbow. Really feel those abdominals work. Inhale, as we round. Exhale, press away through the hands. All right, one more round. Okay, find that downward facing dog. One upward facing dog or cobra. And then we're gonna meet in our child's pose. So come on down, drop the knees, open the knees wide, toes together, sit on back. We aren't gonna be here too long, but let's give our arms a little break. So the hands are reaching towards the front of the mat. The forehead is down, but our forearms are not down. There's still that space between the shoulders and the ears. So if we feel like we're shrugging and our shoulders are up touching our ears, we're gonna pull it away. Let's walk the hands all the way off to the right side of the mat. Back to center. And to the left side of the mat. Center. And then right back to our hands and knees. So we have to pull those knees in. Find that plank in our downward facing dog. Inhaling. Let's start with the right toes this time. Bring the right foot all the way to the front. Hips are low. Come on up, high lunge. So let's do all of that a little quicker before we hop into our warrior two. So when we're ready, front leg straightens. Inhale. Exhale, bend and bend that back knee. Inhale, straighten. Bend the back knee, press off warrior three. Hinge, lift. Open up. Whoa, wrong way. Open up. Twist. Drop that back knee. Drop that back hand. Sweep it up. Find our chair. Balancing chair. Lift the heels. Reach the hands back. Drop the heels. Inhale. Right leg comes up. Exhale. Hinge at the hips. Step that foot back. High lunge. Swan dive. Left foot comes back to meet our right. Downward facing dog. Upward facing dog or cobra. Or we stick with that down dog. Switch sides, left toes come to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, sweep the left foot to the front. Hips are low, high lunge. Front leg straightens on the inhale. Exhale, bend and bend that back leg. Tap, lift and squeeze. Now bend the back leg, press up. Warrior three. Start to hinge at the hips as we lift the knee. We come to a standing. Lift the right knee high. Open up towards that right leg. Reaching the hands in opposite directions. Drop the back hand. Lift high. Exhale, chair. Balancing chair. Lift the heels. Reach the hands back. Sit a little lower. Pull those abdominals tighter. Drop the heels. Bring the left leg up. Exhale, hinging at the hips. Step the left foot back. High lunge. Open up warrior two. Ah. Okay, we're going to take a moment or two here. Adjusting as needed. So our heels are on one line here. So if maybe our heel is in line with our toes, then our hips are going to really have a hard time. So see if we can find our heel to heel or even heel to arch. We just want to not be too far. We're bending. The front knee is opening. So it's stacking over the heel and not on the inside of the heel. Not even on the outside. We want to find that stack. Now that back foot is going to be parallel or slightly pigeon-toed. We're really actually looking to press the heel away more so that the femur kind of spirals in the hip socket. Then this front knee can open up. We can sit lower, opening our hips even more, releasing that tension, and we reach the hands straight out. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, sink. Let's reach forward. Keep that front leg right there. Don't let it straighten. Exhale back. Inhale, reach. Exhale back. Inhale, reach. Exhale back. Let's reach, reach, reach. Flip that palm. Back hand comes to the thigh. Reverse our warrior. So we're doing that same thing. We're not trying to crunch. We're trying to keep the spine long. And we just hinge at that hip as we reach back. Supporting ourselves by pressing the hand to the thigh. Maybe it's on the calf, not on the knee. Maybe we even reach all the way around. See if we can find that front hip crease. Jen, I can only hang on my low back. Is that okay? Yep. We listen to our body. We can stay here. We could be here. But we're just breathing. Okay, straighten that front leg. Keep reaching. Keep reaching here. We can even keep that bind. When we're ready, keep the front leg straight. Come right on up. Reach the fingertips towards the front of the mat. Hand comes to the shin or the thigh. Top hand is straight up. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. So we may start out high on the shin or the thigh, not on the knee, right? The leg is straight-ish with a micro bend. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink a little lower. Keep that spine long. Inhale, straight spine. Not rounded. No, that hurts, right? One more inhale. Exhale, sink. When we're ready, we're going to bend that front knee, bring the elbow to the thigh. We're finding our side angle. So we're here for about 3 breaths. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift higher. Maybe the hand comes to the inside of the foot. We work our hips lower. Maybe we even reach the hands in opposite directions. But we try not to collapse forward. Keep the shoulder blades squeezing together. About 1 more breath. Come right back to that warrior 2. Drop the back hand. Lift the back heel so we're pivoting. Find that high lunge. Swan dive. Right toes come to the sky. Shake it out. 1 knee to nose. Round, round, round. Press away. Lift the hips high. Inhale the toes up. 1 scorpion. Press away through the hands. Toes up. Upward facing dog or cobra. So the toe could stay up if we'd like. Or we can plant it. We will drop it. Shift forward. Chaturanga. Now drop that foot. Now flip the other foot. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Let's do the other side before we get going. So inhale those left toes up. Now bring the knee towards our nose. Round. Inhale the toes up. Exhale, shift forward. Scorpion. Inhale, so again the toes can stay up. Upward facing dog or cobra. As we chaturanga, drop that foot. Flip the other. Up dog. Down dog. Left toes. Bring them up to the sky. Sweep that foot all the way to the front. Jen, I'm so tired. I couldn't make it. Can I use my hand? Yeah. Use it. Because we want our feet far. Sit low. Slowly come on up. Taking our time. Inhale the hands up. Sitting lower. And then we just open up. Since we already did that full round. To the other side. So same thing here. Heels are on that line. The front knee is stacked over the heel. Hips are sinking. Our chest is open to the long edge now. So sometimes we feel in our warrior 2 that our shoulders are kind of squaring and we have a zigzag here. So we want to open up, open the hips, and reach the hands in opposite directions. Maybe we sink lower. Back heel presses away again so this front knee can open. Let's reach forward and back. Inhaling forward and back. Inhale forward and back. Okay, so we're finding that reverse warrior. So inhale forward, flip the palm, drop that back hand, and reverse that warrior. So we're lifting high, back shoulder drops. We sit low. Don't let that front leg sit high, sit lower. Maybe we reach a little higher. Inhale, exhale, maybe a little higher, and maybe we reach back as long as we're not rounding that spine. So we're looking for the long spine still. Back hand can be on the thigh, the calf, or the front thigh. Straighten the front leg. Keep reaching. Inhale. Exhale, reaching a little farther. All right. When we're ready, let's come straight up. Reach the hands in opposite directions. Find our next action as we reach through the front fingertips. Hand comes to the shin or thigh, and we reach the top hand up. So if we need to sit higher, that's fine. But we're supporting ourselves on the thigh, shin, maybe the floor, as long as we're not rounding to get there. So just listening to the body. The hand can be on a block if we need, but we breathe. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, sitting a little lower. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, a little lower. Okay. Let's start to bend that front leg. Bring the elbow to the thigh. So we feel that we're starting to get tired and fatigued. And we're just kind of hanging out here. Let's just see if we can keep that length. Maybe we need to sit higher, that's fine. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and reach. We can even bring the hand towards the inside as long as we aren't collapsing and finding that zigzag. We want to stay high, sink the hips. Keep breathing. Use that top hand overhead and other hand in opposite directions if we'd like. If we did so on the other side, oh, that'll work. Come back to our warrior two. Oh, maybe we need to straighten it for a second. Sit back down. So we're pivoting. Back hand drops. We lift the back heel, come back to our high lunge. Sit low. Swan dive here. Left toes come to the sky. Let's do it backward this time. Come forward. And toe comes towards the head. Inhale. Knee comes to the nose. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Now, kick that right foot to the left side of the mat. Let the right heel drop. And find our scissor side plank as we lift through that top hand. Wow. I feel like I haven't been here in ages. Let's lift the hips. So if you're like, wait, Jen, what'd you do? We start in our down dog, left toes to the sky. Come forward, knee to nose. Now take that left foot and kick it all the way to the right side of the mat. Drop the back heel and lift. Okay. Oi, 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 come back. Switch sides, down dog. So inhale, right toes come up. Shift forward. Toes towards our head. Inhale up. Exhale, right knee comes towards our nose. Round, round. Now, kick that right foot out so it's on the left side of the mat. Drop the left heel. Find our scissor side plank. So the right foot, the one that's kicking out in front, is flexed and we're on the outside of the foot. That back foot we have grounded. And we lift through the hips here. There's that wind I was talking about. It feels good though. So thank you, wind. Slowly come back. Downward facing dog. When we're ready, let's find an upward facing dog or cobra. When we're ready, let's inhale the right toes up. Bring the right foot all the way to the front of the mat. Hips are low, and then we're dropping that back knee. So we're just taking our time. If we feel like we didn't step far enough ahead, now's our chance to adjust, step farther. Use the hand, help it to go farther, whatever we need. But we sit low and we work our hips up. We work our shoulders up and keep our hips down. The hips are squared, so if we feel like maybe they're kind of diagonal, we want to take the left hip and the right hip and square it forward. So we feel the hips pulling to square towards the front corners of the mat. Inhale nice and high. Inhale, come up a little. Tuck the tailbone a bit. Exhale, sit lower. That's going to feel that stretch. Anyone? Anyone? Is it just me? Let's swan dive. Left hand is under the shoulder. Now, let's start by taking this front foot and we're pulling the toes back really hard, like they're trying to touch our shin. but really what we're looking is to activate that leg. So we want to feel the whole right leg flex and active to protect our knee as we open up this hip. So yes, the knee is dropping, but the hip is what's out opening. We keep that foot flexed the whole time to make it so the knee continues to hinge and doesn't kind of weeble wobble. So we flex that foot and we sit lower. So lots of options. We can stay there. We can keep the foot grounded if we'd like. We check that right leg should kind of look like a 90-degree bend. It's kind of got a square shape more than it does like a tight triangle shape, I guess. We can stay here, or maybe we bow and arrow, find that twist. If we want to go deeper, we can pull that heel towards the glute and reach around. But if we reached around and our hips went up and our front shoulder collapsed, we want those hips back down. We want to peel that right shoulder open, and we make sure that foot is flexed still the whole time. That's, I think, one of my most important keys is to keep that foot flexed. Release. Ground that foot. Let's start to walk ourselves back for our half splits. Those we can flex, so we can keep the toes flexed and tucked under, or we can release it. We can fold our mat over. But if our back is rounded, in fact, let's all come back up first. So yep, we gotta play with our balance here. Shoulders up, back and down. Hips are squared, toes are pulled back. And we're folding. So if we feel our back is flat and our legs are really warm, we can release the hands as long as we're not rounding. When we're ready, let's slowly come right back forward. Drop the hips, tuck the back toes, lift that knee, and then take the right foot back to our left. Or maybe we want to keep it up. We're finding our upward facing dog. Shoulders past the wrist, chaturanga, and then flip. So both feet end up coming down for that up dog. Glutes are squeezed. Press away, lift higher. Feet back. Down dog. All right, other side. Left toes come up. Bringing the foot to the front of the mat. Sitting low. And when we're ready, we're going to start to drop that back knee. You still have that knee injury. It's just a scab. It's still bruised. It hurts. So we listen to the body. So taking our time, we're going to sit up. And I'm actually going to take a lot of the pressure off the knee by pressing really hard into this front foot and the top of the back foot. So if I wanted to, I could be here the whole time and have no pressure, but that's a lot of work. So I'm just going to press a little harder on the top of the foot to take some of the weight off of that back knee. Hands can come up when we're ready. And sink low. So same thing, we want those hips squared. Let's come up a little bit. Tuck that tailbone even more. And then sit. Oh, you feel that in that hip? Nice deep inhale. Exhaling. And then we're going to come on down. So we're finding that twist again. Right hand's under the shoulder. Bowing over the left hand up. Now, we pull those toes back to activate that foot. Pull the abdominals tight. Make sure we feel that leg working. And then open at the hip. And we're laying on the outer edge of that foot. The foot is flexed the whole time. If we catch it, we've gone on vacation. Flex it again to protect the knee. Not sinking in that back shoulder. We're pressing away. And we can lift and stay right here. Feeling with each exhale, our hips come lower and lower. Checking that the knee is kind of a 90-degree bend. More of a square than it is kind of like a tight triangle. We also have that option. Pull the knee in. Breathe around. But again, if we've come up, we come right back down. Feel that top shoulder open. Make sure that front foot is still active. If it hurts, we back off. It's not worth it. The benefit does not outweigh the risk. When we've had enough release, come back down. And we're going to sit back into our half splits. Slowly coming up first like we did. On the other side, hips are square, toes are pulled back, and we're just going to start pulling. Keeping that back long and straight. Work with that breath. Nice deep inhale. Exhale. Come right back forward. Tuck the back toes. And then take that left foot back so we're in our plank. Toes can be down or we keep it up first. Shoulders past the wrist. Chaturanga. Drop that left foot. Flip the right. Upward facing dog. Down dog. Alright, so we're going to find our pigeon. And we're going to find it and make sure that we're going to use our right leg first. We're going to see if we can bring the right knee a smidge outside the right wrist. So I don't mean like really right next to it. I just mean a little wider. So when we're ready, take the right toes up. Now do a big circle with that knee. So the right knee is going to come towards the left elbow, the right elbow kind of quickly. So we do left elbow, right elbow, and down. So I see, okay, my hands were a little wide anyway, so it would have worked. But if you see, it's a little wider than my wrist, so shoulder distance hands. Try it again. Swing it around. And that knee, you can see on the outside of my wrist. It's just a smidge. It doesn't need to be completely, but we also don't want it hiding behind because that gets us a little more close to... Actually, behind would work too. We're really just looking... It depends on everybody's body. We're just looking for the knee to be wider than our own hip here. Because if it's right in line with our hip, then it's just going to want to keep falling over and we're not going to get that hip opening we want. So one more time. Up and around. If the back knee is a little too close, we can walk that back. Foot can stay flexed at first. And we'll start high first. So here's where we can kind of check out that leg. Eventually, maybe we find this shin parallel with the front of the mat. But at that point, we really are going to roll off and we're going to lose the benefit of that pose. So in the meantime, we pull that heel in so that we can square our hip. We just play with it without yanking that foot up with our hand. We can start to come forward. If we've come forward and we're like, oh, no, and we feel that we've dropped to that hip, to the outside hip, that bent leg, maybe we bring the heel in a little bit and we square. We're trying to keep our neck supported and not hanging. So from there, we can stack our fists and rest the forehead. We're just breathing here. Nice deep inhale. Sinking exhale. Deep inhale. Exhaling. Feel like we've had enough. We'll switch sides. So slowly walking ourselves up, tuck the back toes, lift up, and then extend that leg out, shake it out. We break them up with the upward facing dog or cobra. And then we're switching sides. So inhale the left toes up. Now find that big circle, shift forward in the plank. Swing the left knee over towards the right elbow, then the left elbow, then come down. What? You want to try 2 more times like we did earlier? Okay. Swinging it around. Whew. Maybe we found perfect where we want, or maybe we do 1 more, or however more we need to find the knee a little wider than our hips. It's not right in line. Outside. Back knee can drop. Maybe we want to walk it farther back. We started up high first, squaring the hips. So same thing. If we notice that the left hip is here and the right hip is back here, we're going to square it to the front of the mat. Adjusting as needed. When we're ready, we'll slowly come forward. Same thing. If our head is drooping, stack the fist, rest the forehead. Keep that breath going. So sometimes it feels really tight and we're going. Not sure if you can hear me over the wind. Let's focus on that nice deep inhale. Sinking exhale. Letting go of that tension. We've had enough. We're gonna rock ourselves up. Instead of coming back up, we're just gonna swing that other leg around. And then we're just gonna sit up nice and tall. The toes are pulling back, shoulders up, back and down. And let's just start to hinge at the hips as we lean forward. Keeping our back flat. Feeling those hamstrings lengthen. Keep working at that breath. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, fold. Hello, hamstrings. Again, nice deep inhale. Exhale. Slowly walk ourselves up. Shoulders up, back and down. And then let's find ourselves on our backs. Grabbing hold of our legs, together, come on down. And then from here, let's pull our knees in, grab underneath the thighs, and just rock side to side a little. And we'll just start to reach our heels, the soles of our feet towards whatever is above us, the sky, the ceiling. And then we're going to take our peace fingers and grab hold of those big toes. And then we're going to pull the feet back down. Feel the hips opening. If our tailbone's lifted, see if we can press it back down for a really long, flat spine. So there should be no little gap between our backs and the mat, our spines and the mat. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, pull down a little bit. Take the toes and press the toes back into those peace fingers. Looks like they're fighting each other. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, pull it down. Deep inhale. Exhale, pull it down. One more. Let's bring our legs back together. And then round into a little ball. Tuck the chin. Squeeze all of our muscles and take a nice deep inhale. Exhaling, releasing everything. Release that tension. We're getting ready for our final relaxation. If there's any last little poses or anything we want to do, we can do that. Or if there's a different way that we like to do our Shavasana, we can find that. Otherwise, just let go of that tension in the feet. So we're feeling like our feet are pointing towards the ceiling. Just relax and let the feet flop to the sides. Open the hands wide, flipping the palms to face the ceiling. Maybe placing blocks at some point in our body, under our body, that we really enjoy. We'll focus on a nice deep inhale, sinking exhale throughout our final relaxation. So continue with that nice even inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose, or however we like our length of our shavasana to be. Whenever we're ready, we can begin to bring a little bit of awareness back to our bodies by wiggling our toes, our fingers, maybe rolling our wrists out a bit. We can even reach our hands towards the top of the mat and our toes towards the bottom, stretching farther. And start to slowly walk the knees in, maybe pulling them in towards our chest and rocking side to side a little. And we can roll over to our left or to our right, hanging out in the fetal position for another breath or two. Whenever we're ready, we'll use our hands to slowly help us up to a seated position. Nice and slow. Roll the shoulders up. Inhaling the arms overhead. Exhaling our hands towards our hearts. Namaste.